Can you believe these two? They're one of my good jobs. Hi everyone, my name is Erin. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. It has been quite some time since I uploaded here. And today I thought I would ease back into it with, some musings, some thoughts on having a really bad reading year. This has probably been the worst reading year that I've had since beginning tracking my reading in 2014. I've read more than what I read in 2014, but the quality and consistency of my reading has been significantly less than what it was in 2014. So I'm not going to talk about numbers. I'm not going to talk about why. I'm just going to talk about the things that I've been thinking about when thinking about the worst year that I've had. So I was really sort of thinking about what lessons can I take from this moving forward into the next couple months, into next year, into the remaining years of my life. And I've thought of a couple of things. Maybe things that are completely obvious common sense to other people, but I have to continuously remind myself of all of the time. The first sort of big realization that I've had this year is that, just because you do something for fun doesn't mean it's always going to be fun, and that applies with reading as well. There have been many a hobby that I have picked up and put down this year in particular. Things that used to be so much fun, bring me so much joy, now they don't really, and so, it's not always going to be fun. It doesn't mean that in a year's time or in 3 years' time I'm not going to love reading, or that it's not going to be fun again. It just means that with everything that's been going on, it's not fun at the moment, or it hasn't been fun at the moment for me to sit down with a book. And that's fine. It's not always going to be fun. The second thing that I think which has really helped me alleviate some of the sort of pressures of reading, that, I've been tracking my reading on Goodreads, so there's that reading goal, and there's all these goals that I've posted and talked about on my channel at the beginning of the year. And so there's a lot of pressure that I put on myself, even though, of course, this is for fun. And, I've kind of realized that it's totally okay with something like reading to move the goalposts to ensure you're successful. Nobody wants to be unsuccessful at a hobby. And so changing my Goodreads goal to something manageable. I mean, I'll probably have to change it again. We're getting into the middle of November and things are not even going as well as I anticipated them going once I decided to change my goals. So, like I said, changing my Goodreads goal to something manageable, getting these sort of lists and things that I wanted to accomplish, like creating them or filing them down, minimizing them to be something that is actually attainable, so that come January 1st, 2021, I will feel like even though this wasn't a good reading year, it was still successful, and I think that that's very important to do. So again, you can move the goalposts with something like reading, with a hobby. Of course, we all strive to be better people, hopefully. I can't speak for you, but I'll speak for myself. I strive to be a better person, so I'm always kind of looking for ways to do that in my hobbies and in my reading as well. So it's okay. It is totally okay to move the goalposts. If all you want is that banner from Goodreads, change your Goodreads. It's okay. I guess going along similarly with the last point, but also specifically speaking about BookTube and public reading, I've needed to remind myself that reading is not a competitive sport. It sounds very silly to say that out loud, at least to myself, but if you need to hear that, it's not competitive. We share publicly what we're reading, so of course it's up to be scrutinized by whoever decides that it is not good enough. But it's not necessarily a healthy thing to feel like you're competing with everybody around you, especially in a hobby. I think that, and I've heard various people talk about this as well, that in this sort of monetize your hobbies culture, things can feel very competitive, especially with YouTube, and you're talking about numbers and things like that. Subscriber count matters, views matter, engagement matter. There's nothing inherently wrong about that, but to remind myself that I'm not competing with anybody. I don't have to like what other people like. I am fully capable and allowed to like the books that I like, but I don't have to put myself in this box to feel like I'm competing with other people, and that's been very helpful for me to sort of unpack and realize why it is that way. And if I'm honest, that's partly why I took a little break from YouTube, but here we are. And the last thing that I've sort of realized with sort of having a bad reading year, it goes back to sort of the changing the goalposts. And it's okay if your goals change entirely, not even just changing the goalposts, right? Like, if you had a specific goal to read X amount of X type book, and you just can't find your groove, it's okay. The goals that you have at the end of the year are still perfectly valid, even if they're different than the ones that you had at the beginning of the year, and it doesn't make you a failure when your priorities change. You know, I think a lot of people's priorities shifted when the Black Lives Matter movement became so gigantic, and I think a lot of people changed their priorities when that happened, which is incredible. And I think that that's okay, and that's something that should, be celebrated, that you've recognized that you're not that person anymore, and this is the person that you're trying to be, at least in terms of reading. I don't want to make that too big, but it's okay. And so hopefully I will follow up this video with some soft goals for the end of the year and some potential challenges for myself in 2021, because I had amazing goals this year, and like February, all of it stopped. So those are just some of the thoughts that I have about having a crap reading year. If you have similar thoughts, if you've had a crap reading year, if you have additional thoughts, I would love to hear. I am very nervous about being back on the internet. I am excited though, and I feel quite inspired. I don't know how often I will post, but I just feel like now is a good time to come back, and we'll see how the rest of the year goes. I hope you are staying happy, staying healthy, staying safe, and thank you so much for tuning in or sticking around. If you have, it really does mean a lot to me. You can find me on Instagram or Twitter. I will have links down below. And as always, we cannot stop fighting for what we believe in. So there will be some links down below if you feel so inclined to follow them. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you again soon with another video. Bye.